Hello everyone, my name is Gert Lisha with the Volleyball Mentor. This is Mentor in the Making, and today we have a very special guest. The accolades are so long that I don't really need to even go through it, but basically Mr. USA Volleyball, Matt Anderson, is joining us today. Thank you so much for coming today, Matt.
Yeah,
I'm super excited to have this conversation, my man.
Thanks for having me, man. Me too.
Absolutely. So let's get into the beginning portions of young Matt. We talked a little bit about you coming up in a non-predominant volleyball space in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
What was your initial inspiration to want to start volleyball or even get intrigued in the sport?
Yeah, so like most U.S. boys growing up, I played baseball and soccer and got into football. Wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't my thing. So I played both baseball and soccer for the most part until I got into baseball. I ended early, I think around 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
Soccer, I went to junior high and played, and then they put me at goalie, and it just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And volleyball has been in my family. My grandfather played in the Senior Olympics. My sisters, two of my sisters played club in high school.
Wow.
Went to university to play as well. So
Okay.
I've been around it. And my first actual experience with volleyball was going to girls East Coast Championships at Penn State, coincidentally, in their big field house where all the football teams train and stuff like that. And so it's just courts after courts after courts, and I was just a little kid because I was too young to stay home.
Wow.
So I went with my family down there, and yeah, it was really cool, really cool. And so when I got to that, going into high school, no longer wanted to play soccer. In New York, boys volleyball is a fall sport.
Yeah.
So a family friend was like, hey, why don't you try out volleyball? And it was one of those things that super challenging because I didn't know it intimately myself.
Yeah.
I've watched it, but it was fun. And it was something that just kind of naturally I was good at, just kind of had a flow for it, but it just kind of clicked, and yeah, it was. I'm
unaware that that in New York it's a fall sport, similar to I think Wisconsin. A lot of those boys struggled with playing club. Did that interfere with your club season, or how did you
No, so it would if I played other sports in high school. So I guess a lot of volleyball players also play basketball, or they do track and field, or whatever it may be, and those are different, different seasons in New York. So, but I didn't. I tried out for basketball, and it just didn't work for me. It was basically basketball or club volleyball, and I just didn't care that much about basketball. I didn't have that passion to play it, and so it made it easy to choose club.
Wow.
and keep playing. Although my club coach and director is Robert Pierce, who is Aaron Russell's father-in-law.
No way,
So, yeah.
bro.
Yeah, so I
what a
grew
trip.
up knowing Kendall and Lainey
Yeah.
and Declan. Those are Robert's kids, by the way.
Wow.
Since they were little. And
Shout out Lainey and Kendall, bro. That's crazy.
And so he always was a big proponent of playing other sports, and I think my basis in those other sports is what helped me with volleyball a lot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I was just into volleyball, and it was pretty awesome.
That's amazing. How old are you? You were 14, 15 when you started volleyball?
Yeah, so in the fall of my freshman year in high school, I was 14.
Okay.
And then turned 15 in the spring. Because I'm young, I think, for my grade, or more towards the young side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you look back at 14-year-old Matt stepping on a volleyball court for the first time, kind of not knowing what's going on, what were inherent strengths in your mindset that you felt you just had, and then what were inherent weaknesses that you felt in your mindset that maybe you had to develop and work on throughout your career?
Well, it's hard to go back that far ago. But I think to paint a physical picture of who I was 5'10", about 120 pounds, maybe 125 pounds, really thin. But I think what I carried with me into that gym that really helped me was just this enthusiasm and joy of doing something, playing, being a part of something. Definitely looked for the identity and the camaraderie of the team.
Yeah.
Because that transition from middle school to going to the high school, you struggle at times. I think a lot of kids struggle just trying to find their friend group or maybe your friends go to a different school now or what. It's intimidating. I had older siblings. My sister was a junior at that point, but still wanted to find my own way. And so like part of that volleyball team in the fall really set me up for that. And so some weaknesses is just naivety. I didn't know anything about the game. I didn't know that there was numbers of positions on the court. Like I was just so green, but I just had this, I was having a lot of fun playing, and I just enjoyed it. And of course there was people telling me I was good, so that like kind of builds you up a little bit and keeps you going. But I had no idea where I was or what I was going to do with volleyball. I just enjoyed playing, so that's why I stayed with it.
So like in a weird way, your naivety was kind of a pro and a con.
Yeah,
for you,
sure.
Like how you view like the joy piece of it and like not really understanding and just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously you feel the weight of like when you make a big mistake, right? Like, hey, you should be standing there. Okay. When they're saying, hey, go stand in 6, I'm like, what does that mean? You know, like go stand in 1. I don't know what that means.
Oh man.
So like me going over the basics with my coach of like 1 is here, 2 is here, like, and I'm like, why does it go counterclockwise with the numbers and we rotate this way? Like all these little things that you would think would make sense, they're just a little different because that's just the way it is.
I have a little tidbit. Thomas Jeschke, your teammate, I played club with Thomas.
Okay.
I got put up as a project player my 17th year for his 18th season. Both starting centers go out with injury. I don't know my rotations.
Yeah.
I'm playing with Thomas, who's trying to win a national championship, and he's murdering me every day. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Get off my court.
Yeah. Thomas is a fiery guy. I'm not necessarily that way, but yeah.
But like,
I can understand the passion behind
experiencing like just the not knowing what's going on and maybe like the pure form of joy.
Yeah.
When you look at volleyball, have you been able to maintain that, or do you feel as you have gotten more knowledgeable of the game and years go on, the joy maybe changes or stays the same? Like, how do you think about that?
I've definitely lost it at times. I've lost myself in the game at times, and that is expectations, that's ego, that's, you know, perfectionism. A lot of things that I think professional athletes all have experience with, whether it's brief or long, however their career is brief or long. You run into these different roadblocks, and you sometimes get lucky that, you know, it just kind of learn it, like you just are forced to learn it, or you get somebody to help you with it, or whatever your avenue is. But that joy has definitely returned in me, whether that's, you know, me realigning my priorities as a person off the court, or if it's my wife and my kids coming into my life, or just the fact that I still do enjoy playing volleyball. Like there's something about doing this sport at the highest level when I'm trying to perfect it, and it all kind of lines up and it just is perfect for a glimpse. Like much like people when they go golfing, they just go for that one shot. Like I'm not in it just for one action, but when it does line up, it does give you that like little dopamine drop or serotonin, you know, elevation.
Euphoric feeling.
Yeah, it's really great.
So men's volleyball obviously is not something that people traditionally view as a long-term career. At what moment did it click for you that you're going to be able to do this for a very long time?
Dude, there wasn't, you know, I wasn't at 27 years old thinking I'm going to play for another 12 years or 15 years, hopefully, you know.
Wow.
There was none of that. It's always just been year to year. And okay, I do have expectations after London to keep playing for Rio, after Rio to keep playing for Tokyo. But my goal getting into this was, can I make it to 35? You know, and 35 came around and I was still playing at a really high clip, and I was enjoying it, and you know, I was making a good living still playing that way. So, you know, when I had conversations with my wife, can I go for LA? Like, realistically, can we do this as a family? You know, once we agreed that I could, you know, there's only one way to do this, and that's full steam ahead and just be in it.
It's really cool being able, we were talking a little bit about this, I was able to come in for one day of training. And one of the talking points after practice, Karch was talking about competitiveness in the gym. And your name was brought up in reference to you diving for balls in pepper. Is that something intentional in the sense that you understand everyone's watching you and the weight that you carry when you walk in the gym is more than you could imagine? Or is it simply just baked into you in a way that it's just how you play the game and you don't really think about it anymore?
Probably both. I mean, as I age and as I get older as a player, I do carry a responsibility to show younger players, especially athletes coming into this gym, like how we want to train, how we want to prepare. You know, there's the cliche, like every ball matters, because at some point in time, like it does. Like us training for the Olympics doesn't start the summer of the Olympics. It starts last year. Yeah. It starts today. There's a new chance every day to get better. And I think it's more so for me what I've just learned for myself, what I need to do to prepare. Yeah. I can't just go through pepper lightly now at 39 and think that when we get to 6-on-6, I'm going to be ready to play. I'm not ready to make that dive if I don't practice it. That's why I get in early. I do 35, 40 minutes of a warm-up before our team warm-up, because I just need to get my body moving. I'm not naturally a morning person, so I wake up at 5. I force myself to get up at 5:30, so I can start getting coffee, get my breakfast, so that by the time we start at 7:30 with weights or 9 o'clock on the court with volleyball, I'm awake. If I if I try to wake up at 8 to be here ready at 9, I'm lying to myself. So you can't lie to yourself. Yeah. Because you know it and you feel it. And when you're trying to do something elite at the top of the level of your sport or whatever it may be, only you can gauge that. And I just know what I have to do and what it requires for me to be ready.
I mean, it's never, whenever I talk to people like yourself that have been so successful for 20 years almost, it is never an accident that you've been able to play as long as you have. Like talking about warming up the warm-up is like just so past what a normal person would think about. I think the first step of an athlete is going into the college athletic space. How was that first transition for you going to Penn State and maybe feeling the first real structure of like what a maybe like semi-pro situation looks like?
Scary, intimidating. Again, to bring in the physicality part of it, I was 6'7", 165 pounds my freshman year. Damn. Again, really thin, but still loving what I did. Yeah. And still performing enough, obviously, to get to that level. I had no idea that I was going to get to college to play. No idea. Like, when I was a freshman, juniors and seniors were talking about going to local D3 schools. Yeah. And like I was like, hey, I can play locally still after high school. Heck, let's try and do that, you know? And then I was playing, youth national team. Like I got invited to a camp after a tryout back for the old high performance days. Yeah. And I'm seeing myself against other kids in the country, my age, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm playing pretty well. I got invited out here. This is, again, another fun opportunity. So when the opportunity to go to Penn State came up, there was a couple other universities out there that offered me, but like I said, to bring it back, my first interaction with like volleyball at a big level was girls' East Coast Championships at Penn State. So kind of stars aligned for it a little bit, and I almost had a feeling that if they offered me, I was going to go there. Yeah. And when the offer came in, I drove down. I think the early signing date back then was a Wednesday. Okay. I drove down on a Tuesday morning with my dad, saw the university, and I had to make the decision that morning before I left, like for either school that I was going to go to. And it was kind of just what do they call it? It doesn't matter. I just was down there just for to be there and to see it. Like
an unofficial.
Yeah. Like well, it was an official visit, but it was like, I forget the word right now. But formality. Yes. It's just a formality to go down there and be through it and be with the guys and just say, hey, I'm going to come here next year kind of thing. And it was awesome. But that first few days in the gym, because again, volleyball for men collegiately is a spring sport. Yes. So we have our fall training block, but it's kind of captain's practices in the first bit before we can get actually into it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going into this gym with guys that have played in a Final Four, guys that have won the EIVA, guys that are playing at a really high level. And just like the sound of them hitting the ball and, you know, how they pepper, how they warm up, how they just carry themselves was so different than the way I was.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to learn that, but I was thrown in the trenches. My freshman year, I started. Me and Max Holt, freshman roommates, we both started. And we went to the Final Four. You know, Max had that iconic serve against Irvine, you know, to win it after the lights went out. And, you know, then we play UCLA in the finals and end up losing. But in the next year, we went to Ohio State, and then the next year out here in Irvine. And so that whole time there, I was learning volleyball, learning how to be a little bit more professional with it. But I was still really enjoying the college experience. I mean, Penn State's a huge football school, and football weekends are insane there. I'd be lying if I didn't say I had indulged in all of that, and it was really, really such a great experience. And it set me up to understand what it could be and what it should be. And it was just really fun.
I mean, I think it is important to experience and even like talk about your experience. I think that going to college and like fully experiencing the quote unquote college experience of like going out and being really social. I mean, something that we would talk about in college a lot, or people would tell us as athletes is like, you can only be really good at social, academic, athletic. You only be good at 2 of 3. Right?
I was good at all 3.
Good at all 3. That's what we'd always say. We're like, man, I'm good at all 3. And I think it is really important to experience that. At what point does the itch come to take it like a job rather than just kind of floating and enjoying Penn State life, being a D1 athlete? It's fun. You guys are really successful on the team level. When does it click for you to switch a gear and be like, I want to take this serious?
Well, I think what Penn State was for me, and I joke about being good at all 3, I am lucky I was kind of naturally gifted academically, where I didn't have to study hard. I could get by. I'm not saying I was a 4.0 student, but I got by and I was able to do what I had to do to be able to play volleyball and stay eligible and all that. But I definitely partied a lot. And it's kind of a culture. We're northeastern area of the country, the Rust Belt part of the country. Like, hey, people work 9 to 5s, they get out, they're at the bar at 5:30, drink until they have their dinner, then they're home and they wake up, rinse, repeat, you know? But the weight of what we're doing, or the privilege of what we get to do, you don't feel that until you're around people that it's weighing heavy on them. You don't experience it until you see it weighing on somebody that like, I might not be able to do this anymore after this. And I got that when I went pro after my junior year. I went pro and started playing in Korea. And like, you start to understand it because it's people's livelihoods. Like, previous to going to Korea, I was also out here. I got invited out to be part of the training block, not for the Olympic roster, but to be around. And I saw these guys trying to make the 2008 Olympic roster. And if you want to talk about tension, not only the culture of that team, but just tension on trying to make an Olympic roster, it was insane. I mean, every ball, you talk about me peppering and diving, every ball was making it or not. And it was really insane and just eye-opening, you know, and coaches cursing players out and players cursing each other out and just the animosity. And then last ball drops of training. Good job, guys. See you tomorrow. Guys are talking like they're best friends again, you know, because they knew they had to push each other. The coaches knew they had to push them, and they had to push themselves. They're trying to make an Olympic roster. It's just crazy. But that weight is, once you feel that on somebody else, it really starts to hone in, hey, maybe that weekend you don't need to go out. You know, like maybe you stay in and you rest and come back Monday morning ready to go. I didn't do that, but you know, you start to understand that a little bit more.
So you talk about coming in the summer, I think it was before your junior year you came in?
It was after my junior year. So we
Okay.
won in 2008. So that's the spring of 2008.
Yeah.
And then I was looking forward to my first summer off.
Yeah.
You know, because I was always playing youth or junior team.
Yeah.
And that was finally, I was too old to play junior
aged out.
team. And I didn't know about a Pan Am Cup or a World University Games or anything like that at that point. And so I was just back home. We were celebrating the win. And I was walking across campus, actually, at Penn State. I think we just finished finals or something, and I was just walking to the gym to grab my stuff before going home. And I got a call from Hugh congratulating me and inviting me out to train. And I was like, here we go again, you know?
So we're talking in a, let's say, 6-month span. You win a national championship, you get invited to the senior team, and then are one of the first people that I have recollection of leaving college early to go play professionally.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening in your brain
A lot.
during that time? Is that maybe like you're getting, like your self-esteem's going through the roof, or is it something that you're just not even processing while it's happening?
There's probably a lot of that, probably not necessarily understanding, again, that weight of it.
Yeah.
I joke about like my career path has always been like just a door opens, I walk through it.
Yeah.
And now I think a little bit more before I walk through doors, but the youthfulness that, you know, that privilege that I talked about, that I didn't understand it, it made me make those decisions a little bit lighter. You know, my reasoning for leaving school wasn't because I wasn't having a good time. And like I said, I really enjoyed my time there.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm an out-of-state student on a scholarship to a state school, so I'm still paying quite a bit out of pocket.
Yeah.
I have this offer to go play professionally, and it was a really good offer. And school's an institution that's not going to leave the States for a very long time.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work out, or if I only play for a few years, or I play for 1 year, whatever, you know, I can say I did it, and I can always come back to school.
Yeah.
20 years later, almost 2 decades later, you know, I don't think I'm going back to school anytime soon. But
Did you finish your degree?
no, I didn't. And
Valid.
unfortunately, the way it works, all those credits that I took are useless now.
Oh,
So
is it a time?
yeah, I'd have to pretty much start over. But maybe eventually I will. Maybe that's something that will, you know, I'll be intrigued and I'll be passionate about getting a degree.
Yeah.
But luckily, hopefully my resume of playing can put me in a position where I don't need a degree to get into some doors.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that decision, talked to my mom and my dad, talked to my college coach, and it just was the decision I chose. It was just, for me, weighing all the options, the best option for me. And so I went for it.
And as we kind of continue from that point of Matt Anderson becoming a pro, the success continued.
Yeah.
And going to make your first Olympics in 2012 as an outside, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then obviously everyone probably knows you right now as a right side for the USA national team, because
Yeah.
that's been the past 3 quads
Yeah.
that you've been at right side.
Yeah, the last tournament in 2013 was a Norseca tournament,
Okay.
and that was the first time we played with it.
Yeah.
So all tournament I was playing as a left, and
Yeah.
then in the finals, John made a decision to put Sean Rooney and Reed Pretty on the left, I think, and me on the right,
Yeah.
and just track it out. And we did well. That was coincidentally Micah Christensen's first tournament with us as well. But all that World League, back at the time it was called World League, not BNL, I was on the left. And then in 2014, we went for it.
Was that difficult for you? A lot of players struggle with flipping between pin to pin.
Yeah.
Was that tough for you to be successful, or was it natural? How did you kind of take that?
So the way it was broached and the way we came up with this idea, John came up with this idea with the staff, was we had some really dynamic and powerful lefts that weren't the best at ball control, especially at this level.
Yeah.
I was a left that had ball control, but also capability on the right because I always played 0-1. I was always next. And I had capabilities on the right side. So it was, hey.
Real quick, when you play 0-1, that means that you hit on the right side once,
yeah, you're near the setter. So when you're rotating in row 1, you are hitting on the right.
Yes.
Usually. Now that the things have changed, people are
shifts
and everything like that. But back then it was, you couldn't do that. So it was, hey, let's put Maddie on the right, because also at Penn State, my second year, my sophomore year, I was an opposite.
Okay.
And I was a passing opposite. So there was a little glimpse back then, but essentially took that theory to the national team, and it was kind of, let's keep tempo as best we can on both pins, speed up the game a little bit, while still being the best quick big team in the world, which we were at the time. And I would argue we still are.
Yeah.
So that kind of came about that way. But for me, the transition, the first couple of years was fun. It was, this is something different. I'm finding success in it.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to have fun, right? And then what creeps in is the professionalist or the perfectionist and the expectations of, I mean, that 2014 World League, I think I scored more than 100 points more than the second place dude, in the intercontinental round before the finals. So like, it was working.
Yeah.
It was really working. And so 2015 comes around. We won World League, by the way, in 2014. Taylor Sanders' first year.
Yes.
Played incredibly well.
Right. He got MVP of the finals, I think?
Yeah.
His first year, yeah.
And so 2015 comes back. I go back to Kazan. I'm playing in Russia at the time, back on the left. And Leon's there. So like a bunch of different things happen. So I'm basically now just the passing outside that doesn't get said a lot.
Yeah.
Which was fine too, because then I knew coming back to the national team 2015, I'm back on the opposite. I'm going to get a lot of swings, and I'll feed my ego that way a little bit, you know. So, but then that perfectionism came in again, and I'm trying to be perfect, and I'm trying to be better. So then the bouncing back and forth kind of started to get to me a little bit. Yeah. Because I want to train how I'm going to play.
Yep.
And if I'm only getting Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the left, Tuesday, Thursday on the right, or a couple days here, a couple days there, I'm not actually able to hone in those really small micro differences that I feel are going to make me the best player and make me the best teammate.
Yeah.
And also the best tool for our team to win.
Absolutely.
So I fought it for a couple of years, and it was just the nature of the beast. Being able to play on the left and being able to play on the right was a great tool for our team. And so at times, John would say, hey, you're going to go on the left today. Okay. You're going to go on the right today. Okay. I just have to be okay with it. And it's funny because in the later parts of my career with John as the head coach, we joked about it. Even like, hey, I know you don't like doing this, but you're going to have to go here. You know, and it's all right, you know. And it just got to the point where it was like, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to playing on the left. I'm not going to say no to playing on the right because I want to play. I want to be here. I want to be on this team. I want to win with this team.
See, but like, yes, in the same breath, you're the best player in the gym. Like, you do have, you do have the ability at the end of the day to put your foot down and be like, this is uncomfortable for me. I'm going to play outside. And that's just what it is. Like, what takes you away from that, like, initial, like, kind of like, I don't like this?
Well, you don't grow unless you're uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And the overbearing thing was John is head coach, and he thinks this is going to be the best thing for our team to win.
Yeah.
Who am I to say different? You know, if it's within my capability to do it, and I don't think John would ever ask me to do something that I'm not capable of.
Yeah.
Even if I'm uncomfortable.
What gave you that trust in John?
Geez, probably 2011 World Cup. Playing my first World Cup. Brian Thornton's on the team. I don't know if you guys know Brian Thornton.
Yeah, for sure.
Setter from ended up making the 2012 team.
Yes.
But he set at Irvine with John as the head coach. And so they had that connection. And me and Brian were younger guys on the team. Mm-hmm. And so we had a natural connection that way. And 2011, we're going through World Cup, and this is my first kind of entrance into seeing like film being broken down, and hey, we wanted to do this on this play, we did this, or we executed well on this, so on and so forth. And that experience was after every match, we would go to John's room. He would invite us up. We'd have a couple beers. We'd watch the game, break it down. And I just understood a little bit more of how John's brain worked for the game.
Interesting.
And World Cup, you should know, is 11 matches in 15 days.
Yes.
Or 14 days or whatever it was. Like it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. And so sometimes you're playing at 10 a.m. The next time you're playing at 7 p.m. You're just all over the place. You're at the nature or the mercy of the beast of the World Cup. And so I think it started there. And then when John took over, because John was the assistant coach to that first quad.
Yep.
Then in 2013, John took over, and it's just his ability to communicate with me, and me understanding and me learning about myself through this game, and his help and his guidance with stuff off the court, on the court, and just his ability to be open, I think is what really built that trust.
That is incredible, because I do think that a lot of times coaches struggle with building the trust with their players to make a big move like that.
Yeah.
That, especially in that moment for you, can impact your career whether you like it or not, right? Like you're in Zenit Kazan playing outside, then you come here playing a different position. I'm sure at one point in your head you're like, it might negatively impact my contract at some level.
You know, that thought never really actually crossed my mind, but
there it is.
I don't know if that's, again, maybe that young naivety is still sticking through, or confidence, or just, I don't care. You know, because for me, the ultimate goal is a gold medal in the Olympics. So whatever I need to do to get that opportunity, I'm going to do. And to your point about like some coaches having struggles asking a player to do that, like there's two ways to go about it. Well, there's probably three ways to go about it. One is you're, for lack of a better term, a dictator as a head coach. You just demand, hey, you're doing this, and the player's just, okay.
Yeah.
Or the other way, like John does it, you build trust. And it's not necessarily a demand, it's a question, but with good reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
And then there's the middle part, which is where the player kind of demands no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, if I would have said no to John, I think he would have respected that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure he would.
But I didn't want to say no.
Yeah.
And I think that some players will say no, and that's not the culture of the team that we were building. You know, we weren't building a bunch of superstars, we were building a team.
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately, it didn't get us a gold medal, but it got us a really darn good chance. In Rio, you know, we got a bronze after a tough semifinal against Italy. And then, you know, Tokyo was a really difficult Olympics for us.
Just in general.
We had really high expectations, and just, I mean, flat out didn't play good enough.
Yeah.
You know, and then in Paris, we fought. We were older, grittier, been through a lot. We've had really high highs and really low lows, but we were a team through it all. And then through Paris, it was just ultimate comfort in the struggle.
Yeah.
You know, we were really comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. As
a team at that point, that it didn't matter who was against, who we were against, what we were up against in a score. We were going to play for each other, and we did.
It is really interesting to see the evolution of the USA team. Maybe starting with the 2016 is maybe like when the generation first got introduced, and has kind of maintained a pretty solid core throughout the past three quads.
Yeah.
And to see the comfortability of the group, and obviously like some people change.
Yeah. For sure.
But how you're talking about, I agree. Watching you guys in Paris, there was a level of, we deserve to be here, and like even if we're losing, we're still going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean that's just time.
Yeah,
time and reps, and again experiences. Like I said, we had a really great experience in Rio, you know, and after you lose a semifinal in Olympics, it's gut-wrenching. It's heartbreaking. It's really hard to come back. And like, we showed a lot of heart in that match against Russia, because even we started really bad. We were down 0-2 and came back and won in 5. Like,
and
insane.
Reed Pretty came in
for Aaron and kind of gave us a little spark.
Yeah.
And that's part of a huge, investment of Reed's, like, experience that he has. He just carries this with him, and him being able to come in and just fire us up. I mean, I don't know how I think he was 37 at the time.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And so, like, not the youngest, and he had just come back from a knee injury the year before. So it was great for him to just come in and give us that fire, and it sparked us to go. And then, I don't know.
It's cool to hear you talk how kind of you want, even with the position changes, you want to do it for the group. And everything's like team focused. At one point in your career, not to say that you shifted away from that, but in 2014, when you stepped away from your professional team in Russia, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because just hearing you speak right now is like, the team is so important to you. And the pro team that you left is an organization you have played with for how long? A decade?
That was my third season going back there.
Yeah. And you ended up playing, how many seasons was that?
7.
7.
Yeah.
So it's like, you must have felt pretty strongly to have to step away.
Yeah.
Can you just break down the whole thought process of what was going on in Matt Anderson's head during that time?
Yeah, the simplest way I can say it is, I would be home at my apartment thinking about volleyball.
Yeah.
Like, ruminating about volleyball. Which is just replaying the same thoughts over and over and over again, and I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
I'd go to the gym, and I'd just be thinking about everything outside of the gym.
Interesting.
And then part of what would spark me at home thinking about volleyball is I'd feel this overwhelming sense of guilt of, like, wasting a day training, wasting time of my teammates, and that's I feel how much this means to them. Yeah. I'm not in it 100%. Therefore, they're not getting the best of me. They're not getting the best of themselves. And then I would be like, I just would feel terrible. I'd feel embarrassed about it. And then I'd get to the gym, and I'm not sleeping well. I'm probably drinking too much.
Yeah.
To try and get my thoughts to stop. And so I'm not rested, and I get there and I'm just thinking about what I did the night before and why did I do that? I feel like crap. Okay, just another hour and a half and I'm out of here. So it was just this constant push and pull in the opposite direction of what I was doing. So I was not very present, is what people talk about now. I wasn't present in the moment.
Interesting.
And so the thought process behind stopping was, something's got to give.
Yeah.
So I'm either gonna blow up off the court, get into probably a depression, a drinking addiction, or whatever it may be, or I'm gonna blow up on the court and I'm gonna blow up my career. I'm not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah.
And so when I left, there was quite a process of me talking through with other people. Yeah. And this is where John came in, Andrea Becker, who's our sports psych. They're great resources that I've confidently and confidentially spilled my guts to a lot of times. And talking to them, and then I actually called some of the guys on the national team and asked them, hey, if I step away from this season, does that sit okay with you if I come back on the national team in the summer?
Wow.
And that culture that we've been culminating, they were like, yeah, no problem, go do your thing. We want you to be better as a person, because we know if you're better as a person, you can give more here. You can be better here. And it's a really hard concept to actually think about. But what we do with the national team is so different from our professional teams. Yeah. We're building a team over 4 years instead of throwing a bunch of new players together and say, hey, be a team. Why aren't you a team? We're given that luxury. It's also a hindrance too, because we only get 3 to 4 months together every year. But we're able to add on to it every time we're here because we know who's going to be here.
Yeah.
So that thought was just, that if I can be a better person for myself first, that allows me to give more. That allows me to be a better athlete, a better teammate, a better friend through the rest of my career if I chose to play volleyball. And I honestly had no idea if I was going to keep playing or not. But I knew that I didn't want to be the person that I was socially in my relationships with my friends, my family, intimate relationships I was having. Like, I felt so much weight and embarrassment and guilt because I felt like I was lying to people I cared the most about.
How did you break out of that? Like, what was the process? What was the maybe like healing process? How much time? Like, is it ongoing? Like, tell me about
it's forever going. Yeah, forever going. But I went back home and started seeing a psychiatrist, a therapist, a general psychologist, not a sports specific one. I still was in touch with Andrea Becker at the time and John, just kind of giving updates. They were never prompting me. It was me kind of just, hey, I went to my therapist, talked about this. I thought it'd be something I could share with you and talk about. Because it was pertaining to volleyball or pertaining to me continuing to play or not and so on. Going through unpacking some stuff because when I talked about my rumination, I was drinking a lot to kind of shut my brain down, shut those thoughts down. Numb it down. And it just, the thing that happens when you do that, and it's not necessarily because of drinking, but that was my advice to get it to stop, was it just comes back with a vengeance the next day. So it was just kept building and building and building. And so I had to take time to address that and really understand what was driving those feelings or those thoughts, and then practice with tools to implement when those thoughts come up or when those moments of anxiety or when I want to be a recluse and just go back, like, what is driving that? And what it did was gave me tools to question why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. You know, you have to identify what the feelings are and then what is bringing those to light and why am I stuck on it. Practices that I do now that I use is I still talk to sports psychs and regular therapists from time to time. I journal. My wife I've unloaded a lot on her and been able to openly communicate those feelings and thoughts at times with her, with friends. And it's just kind of relieving myself of that embarrassment of feeling those and just saying what needs to be said. Because when I say it, I don't know what the person's thinking. I don't know how they're going to react, but I know that maybe if I put this out there, maybe they're feeling the same thing and it's just a misunderstanding. So really focusing on personal relationships and not the judgment of what I'm doing. Like, it allowed me to be a better person and like feel more confident in myself as a person, that I'm not alone, but also allowed me to play volleyball in a much different light. Like, I still want people to think I'm a good volleyball player. I still want people to want me on their team and I want them to root for me. I still want to execute for myself. But if I don't care what you think. You know, I care about what I think and what my teammates think. Because that's who means the most to me in this moment. And that goes for my pro teams too. Like, I want them to feel that I'm trying my best for them. And so, that's a really long answer, but it's a journey.
It feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, the stuff you had to unpack were more non-volleyball related?
Yeah, I mean, there's judgment. So I have a inclination to like fear judgment. I don't know where that comes from, if it's childhood stuff or whatever. But
interesting. Can you explain like what that means?
Yeah, so like the trauma part or the judgment part?
The judgment part.
Yeah, so like I talked about, I still want people to think I'm a good volleyball player. But I used to carry, like, if I'm not playing perfect, somebody somewhere is going to say something. It's a reporter or whatever. The other team, the coach say, "Oh, he's not that good anyways, huh?" Like, just little things that, like, really don't matter. In the end, they don't matter. But
I'm sorry for the audience. This is at the moment, and again, not to like try to like boost your ego or anything that you need it, but you're playing on the best team in the world.
yeah,
And you're a starting, contributing player.
yeah,
Even how you feel like this,
yeah,
and you still feel that way.
yeah.
Even with all the on paper success that you could look at.
Yeah, well, that's what that, like, in professional sports, it's not always the healthiest way to think about it, but you're only as good as the last thing you did.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so yeah, at that time I was also fearful of what is my legacy going to be. Like,
Yeah.
if I stop playing now, what will people say? And maybe there was a little motivation in that for me to come back and play and be like, hey, listen, I had a little blip. It's not light, but I had to do it, and now I'm back. You know, but it also kind of set me up to keep playing. You know, what it did is it gave me all these tools, like I talked about, these little instruments that I can call on from time to time when things get tough. And I mean, a lot of props in respect to my club for getting me back.
Yeah.
You know, there's a good, I mean, most clubs will say, screw you, you're done. You know?
Absolutely.
But when Kazan called me back, and I did come back, it started one of the gnarliest runs in European volleyball. You know, in my time with Kazan, so previous to that year, we had won the Super Cup in 2012 when I came there, and we had just won the league in 2014. And so I had 2 trophies at that point, 2 golds. The next 5 years of me playing there, we won 16 gold medals.
16.
Yeah, so when I left there, my 7 years, we had 18 gold medals. Like, pretty substantial. 4 Champions League consecutive. I think we won the league 4 or 5 years in a row. Bunch of Russian Cups, World Club Championships we won. Like, just a gnarly run. And so I don't know if that's foresight by them, you know, desperation to call me back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what led to that call, but I'm forever grateful that they did, because now my jersey is retired in the rafters. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, even like, it's unbelievable, like looking back, and I don't even know how this feels to you, like having that type of success, especially after you take such a big risk for yourself, taking a step away, and you see that come back tenfold in results, right? Maybe you didn't feel that in the moment, and you probably don't feel it until you stop playing, like deeply.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I mean, again, you're only as good as what you did last, but I'm able to pull off all that experience. I'm able to pull off in the hardest moments. Semifinal of the Olympic Games, playing against Poland, we're down 14-11 or something. I go back to serve. Like, I joke about it, but I don't want anybody else serving that ball but me. And it's not because I don't trust my teammates. It's because I trust what I've done to that point.
Because you know, like, you're the only one that knows for you.
Yeah.
So looking at that moment, you take the 2014, 2015 season break. Was it the full year? Or was it partial year?
I think I was, because I actually left, maybe it was still 2014, I think in like November. Yeah. And I came back in like January. Yeah. Like the end of January. So like almost 2-3 months, something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So something that I'll say personally, like I struggled with a lot was retiring and stopping my career. The only way I can explain it is like experiencing a death in my family.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that.
I don't mean to laugh at that.
So no. But that, like, to say like the severity of how I felt.
The gravity of it. Yeah, right. For sure.
Now, I think a lot of that is wrapped into how a lot of high-performing volleyball players, how they identify themselves. Like, who is your identity? For me, it was a volleyball player. You, looking at your career, have almost been a pro longer than you haven't, right? It's like 18 years being professional. You started playing when you were 20?
21, yeah.
So, right, so like 3 more years, once you're in LA, is gonna be equal, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like you forget what it's like to not be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, like, it was hard for me. I have no idea how it conceptualizes for you. So how have you, and I'm assuming you've dealt with that when you took the hiatus, how have you kind of conceptualized who Matt Anderson is and like your identity?
Yeah. That's a big one, man. But it touched on what happened, or the reasoning behind that break was personal relationships. Like, you are who you surround yourself with. You are who you want to be and who you show people, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was fearful because what I was showing people wasn't what I was feeling on the inside.
Yeah.
And I had to break that facade down to be able to show people who I really was and what I really cared about, and not be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
And so how I identify myself now is, of course, there's a huge part of me that's still a volleyball player. And like, part of still being a professional at 39 years old after 18 years of playing, like, I have to dedicate a lot of my time to that. Like, just physically, like the way my body I need to be with it, like how I'm eating, how I'm sleeping, how I'm recovering, how I'm actually training. There's a lot of my day is dedicated to that. But it's more intentional in that way now. Like, how I eat is more intentional because I'm also a husband. I'm also a dad.
Yeah.
And those parts of my life require time too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not okay being an absentee dad. I'm not okay telling my wife you take care of the kids.
Yeah.
You know, I'm providing for you, you do that. No, I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
Because that's not true to me. So it does require other sacrifices. My social life is small.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, because the things that mean the most to me is being a good dad, being a good husband, and being a great teammate. So those are 3 really big things that require a lot of time, and so I just do it because that's what I want to do. You know, I'm fortunate that I get paid well enough to be able to afford certain luxuries in this, like being able to fly home for a weekend, or being able to get accommodation where I am, or being able to fly my family with me on certain trips, or whatever it may be. I understand that, and I'm grateful for that, and I hope I show appreciation to that. But how I do that is by doing what I'm doing really well. Yeah. With intention.
It is so interesting. I've had this conversation with my club volleyball boys before, and it's like, as I'm having this conversation with you live, just like, it's striking how vulnerable, like, you're open to be. How do you view vulnerability in leadership? And like, what is the place of it?
Yeah, well, I think it needs to be there. Like, again, it's going to go back to those 3 ways of being a coach, right? Like, you can be a dictator. You can tell people what to do. Yeah. But the buy-on of that is out of fear. Yeah. The buy-on of that is, well, shoot, if I don't do this, I might lose my job. Yeah. Whatever it may be. Or I might lose my spot in this group or on the team. You can be kind of a pushover, right? You can be too vulnerable. You can be too open. Yeah. And then when you need that response, you don't get it. You get pushed back. Yeah. Or you can be genuine, truthful, and open. And I think you connect on a deeper level, and that allows people to feel what you are about. When you enter a room, what you mean, there is something behind the message. Yeah. You know?
You played in the Eastern Bloc, right? Yeah. I'm Albanian, so Eastern Europe. Yeah. I can only imagine the communication style that's happening in Russia. Yeah. At the pro level, on the best team, that is paying the most money and all these layers, right? How was it experiencing that as an American athlete? Was it something that was like a culture shock for you? Had you experienced that type of coach style before? Maybe it wasn't like that. Like, what was your experience like?
Yeah, the coach I was playing for was Vladimir Lekno. You know, the iconic Russian coach. Like, he demands respect, and he coaches like that. I would say something to his credit that I wasn't expecting is his openness and his vulnerability to me as a foreign player. Excuse me. Something that sets him apart from what I would assume other coaches in Russia were like, or the traditional Russian style coach, is he actually played in Europe himself. So he got an experience and perspective of what it felt to be the other.
Yeah.
And so having this very good understanding of what it's like to be in Russia and be a Russian player, and what he is asking us to do as foreigners to come to that country and live in that country, because the people aren't different.
Yeah.
The situation is different. Geographically, where they are, what they endure, what they have to endure socioeconomically, it's different.
Yeah.
And so those guys grew up in harsher conditions than most Americans did.
Yeah.
So we carry a different outlook on life.
Yeah.
And asking me or the other foreigners, wherever they're from, to go there and be a part of that and to buy into that culture, he knows it's a big ask. So there were certain things that he required of the Russian players that he didn't require of me.
Wow.
And I don't know if that was just me, or if that's how he did for all foreigners, but that was my experience. And so I didn't always agree with what he was doing. I didn't always agree with how we prepared or whatever it may be, but I agreed on the whole of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And he made that clear to me.
I think it's cool to hear, and again, it's consistent through every high-level coach I read about or speak to, having the ability to change communication styles between player to player.
Yeah.
Becomes so valuable, because you're going to be put in a lot of situations like yourself in Kazan, where it's like you're a foreigner and not in a traditional sense of like going from Ukraine to Russia, and they have a very similar culture.
Right.
You're going across the world, and like you said, experiencing life in a very different way, not volleyball.
Yeah.
Like literally as a human being, like your experience is vastly different. And it's not a surprise that a coach that's had that much success has had that ability to maybe step outside of himself and have the ability to change the culture. When we talk about culture, you have been a part of 3 different coaching regimes in the USA gym. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Like Hugh,
I guess
Spraw, Karch.
if you're including Hugh, 4, because now
4.
Karch.
Okay.
Because it was Hugh, Allen, John.
Hugh, Allen, beautiful. So Hugh,
Karch.
Allen, so 4.
Yeah.
This is the 4th now.
We are saying their first names. It's
Yes.
Hugh McCutcheon, Alan Knipe, John Sparrow, and Karch Karai. Everyone knows Karch, but
Correct.
Karch Karai.
So you're the one constant throughout this whole, right?
Sure.
And again, just the reality. And people like to talk about culture as a very finite thing, but I'm sure that you've seen different coaching styles, different ways to try and implement culture, try to shift culture. How has the culture of the USA gym progressed, and what is the challenges you see when there's like different coaching changes, or is it very streamlined and maybe like the tactical stuff changes?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, there's definitely a huge culture change from 2008 when I was on the team, or getting invited out to the team for the first time. And again, not the A team, but being around and just seeing the A team. That culture was carried over into the next quad in 2000 through the London Games, but had changed a little bit, you know, and there was certain things that we tried to talk about as a team. And there was pushback, right? Because it makes people uncomfortable, or it changes the way that they can be what they think is their best self.
What would be an example of something that you felt was a stark change from the beginning to?
As simple as name calling across the net, like not judging a player by their actual skill, but like putting them down on something that doesn't relate to what they're doing. Like, you missed that because you're an effing idiot.
Yeah.
Well, probably not, probably not.
Definitely not.
But like just the way we communicated with each other. Like there's people that when you talk like that to them, it fires them up and gets them going. And there's people that shut down.
Yeah.
And I've seen great players, like their careers are finished because they just couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have to handle that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to judge me on the way I'm playing, then talk about the way I'm playing.
Yeah.
But if you want to judge me on who I am as a person, then we're going to have an issue.
I mean, that is a big issue we see, I think, I'm not sure if you follow like professional basketball or professional football, where a lot of athletes have issues with commentators kind of taking it away from the play.
Yeah, they take liberties with stuff. But like, to me, it's also a culture of American sports. Couch coaches, sorry. Couch coaches, like, oh, you dropped that ball in the end zone, you're an effing idiot, or you're so stupid, you're so slow. I'm like, guys, these are the top of the top playing this sport. It's fun for me to watch that now. Like, I enjoy around that because I'm just so separate. I can separate myself from it now.
Interesting, man.
Like, but I'm also a diehard Bills fan, so
okay.
I see a lot of it. Got a lot of heartbreak. I'm definitely guilty of some comments in the past, but it is what it is, and that's sports. We are setting ourselves up for failure.
Yeah.
As athletes, like we are trying to, especially Olympic athletes, we are trying to do something that is so difficult, and somewhat lying to ourselves that we won't fail.
Yeah.
Although we probably will. Numbers-wise, we probably will. And we have to be okay with that. If you're not okay with it, is when you implode, when your identity only becomes that one thing, and you don't get that one thing. What are you? You're nothing but in your mind, you're nothing but a failure, and that's really hard to deal with. And that's why I try to separate myself from it. Being, I'm still invested with everything I can. Yeah. But that's not what defines me. Although I want it to. Yeah. If I win, I want it to.
Yeah. You got like the. You still have like the bug.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the itch. That's the itch that people talk about. Like, I still want to play because it's still there. There's something.
Do you think that is the gold medal? Like, is it as simple as that?
For me, hands down. That's the only reason why.
Hypothetically, you guys won gold in 24. You think it fades? Or do you think like getting it again is
Yeah, that's hard. I don't know because one, that's not what happened.
Yeah, true.
And honestly, I think I would still be playing because I was pretty weary of how I was going to play in those Olympics. Just being older.
Yeah.
And, we've gone at it. This would be our third time as this core group, like you talked about, going at it. But it didn't feel routine. It felt novel. It felt like we were something different.
Yeah.
And I played really well.
Yeah.
Like my performance in the games, I was really proud of it. And it just showed me that, hey, I am still relevant.
Yeah.
I am not just the old guy.
Yeah.
I'm not just that guy that is on the team because of my name.
Yeah.
And I made that pretty clear in my discussions with Karch going into the squad. Like, I want to earn a spot. Like, I want respect for what I've done.
Yeah.
But I want to earn a spot. I don't want to just be given it. So if you guys know Karch, he's the ultimate competitor, especially competitor in volleyball. He won't give me a spot just because of my name.
Yeah.
I have to add value to this team in both performance, in leadership, in guidance, in teaching, in vulnerability or communication, whatever it may be, I have to add enough value to this team that he can't leave me off the roster. That's my job, is to prove that to him.
Absolutely. Like, you force them
Yeah.
to put you on the team.
Yeah, essentially.
With your play and your value and what you show every day. And that is, again, a sentiment that I talk to my club players about.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard because we're trying to quantify what 20 years of experience is.
Yeah.
And just kind of like give it to somebody to take.
Yeah.
Like, here, have this. And a question I get often is, if you go back to when you were 16 years old, what would you tell yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could tell myself anything. I think I would still go about it the way I went about it. Maybe you can give me some tip about how to handle something, but I'm also still going to go into that experience with my perspective, and I'm going to leave with my perception of what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to take what you've done, take that to me, and say, oh, this is how I handle that. Got it. No, because we're human and we have different experiences in life, different ways of how we were raised or how we handle whatever it may be. That's what makes us so great at times and difficult at other times.
It's interesting with that comment. I've thought about that question a lot too.
Yeah.
And I think people put too much weight on like a single decision maybe, or like a piece of information that they would get, where it's like, what makes you unique is not the information you know, but more so how are you able to process new information, I think.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, for therapy especially, is like getting tools. There's many different options, many different tools to use to get over anxiety.
Yes.
For me, it's getting my thoughts down, and I also talk about like closing loops. Like when you have so many things on your mind about, oh, I got to take the trash out, I got to pack the bags, we're leaving a week, I got to get visas, all this stuff is gone because you have so many things on your plate. Yeah. Okay, dedicate a little bit of time. Hey, I'm going to take care of the visas today. Tomorrow and the next 2 days, we're going to get all our stuff together to pack. Yeah. This, everything. And like when you close those loops, I got to call the doctors to get insurance or whatever it may be. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever your loops are. Yeah. Close one. Close one the next day, if you can. Like work towards it. Like, you know, Rome wasn't built in one day. You know, like all those little cliches, but they actually work. No, and I mean, Victor Wembanyama literally had an interview and he just said exactly what you said. Someone asked him, what would you tell your 14-year-old self? And he said, I don't want to talk to my 14-year-old self. Yeah. Like, I want to let him breathe. Yeah, let him be him. Like, figure it out, you know? Yeah. And I think there's power in that. And maybe, again, I think the conversation's like people just want too much control on everything and like maximize optimization. Yeah, people society. They want like a special pill, or they want like a cure-all, or like they want the elixir of life, whatever it may be. They want to know what is and how do I monetize that? Whatever it may be. Like, there is no secret recipe to making an Olympic athlete. Yeah. There's no secret recipe to making an NBA athlete or a CEO. It's just, it has to come out of the person. There has to be there's moments in my career where, like, okay, sack up. Like, you got to do this. Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult to go to Russia 7 years in a row and be happy about it. It's difficult to miss Christmases, to miss birthdays, to miss weddings. It is, but you know what? For me, the end goal of winning a gold medal is if I get there. And here's the thing: is I play for that if. Yeah. That's worth it to me. I've had conversations with some Olympic athletes that explain their Olympic experience. The first one, they leave feeling empty in the sense that it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. How would you explain the Olympic experience as your 4-time Olympian and shooting for a 5th? What is that to you? I've never heard that before, but you say it and I kind of start to think about it, and I could see how that could be for some people. Yeah. That wasn't my experience. It definitely wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I think that's because I carried this expectation of we were going to make it to at least a medal round.
Yeah.
You know, in London, we lost to Italy in the quarterfinals.
Yep. Was it when Zaitsev and Savani went crazy on like service run?
It was, I don't know how Savani passed the way he passed.
Yeah, it was.
You know, but they were a good team.
Yes.
They were a good team, and obviously they won. They were a good team. They got a
silver, I think.
They get silver. Did they lose in the final? No.
I think
Russia beat Brazil in the final.
You're right.
They got bronze.
Yes.
But Clay Stanley had hurt his knee, I think, in the last match against pool play against Tunisia, potentially. Yes. I don't remember. Maybe he hurt it in the quarterfinal or whatever.
Yeah, no, I believe you're right.
But my first experience, I loved it, man. It gave me something to shoot for. Again, like, I still remember sitting on beanbags outside of our apartment building or whatever they call them, the dorm building that we were in.
Yeah.
Because we were right by where all the other teams had to walk, all the other countries had to walk to go to the commons, the cafeteria and stuff. Yeah. And they had like little coffee carts and stuff like that. I remember drinking way too much coffee and just sitting out there because I was just enjoying this. Like, I mean, Michael Phelps is walking through and Usain Bolt's coming through and all these crazy Olympic athletes, you know, the NBA players that were there for Team USA basketball. And it was just, I was like, for the first time able to say, I'm on the same level as these people. We're all on the same level. We're all Olympians. So I wouldn't say it was an empty thing for me.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that we didn't leave with at least a chance to play for a medal.
Yeah.
But the other two, like in Rio, it was more business. I carried myself a little bit different. And also we weren't in the village. We were staying in a hotel because of where our venue was.
Yes. Okay.
So maybe that allowed me to go a little bit deeper into that. Tokyo was tough. It was a tough year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just athletes, not just the Olympics, not just everything. It was just tough. And
yeah, the world.
That was one that like left a really bitter taste in my mouth because I just felt we owed ourselves better. And I say that not because of wins or losses. I just feel we didn't collectively as a team, maybe even I'm just critiquing myself individually, how I perceived it.
Yeah.
We just weren't the team we should have been. And then Paris was just like, I mean, everything came together.
Yeah.
It was just such a cool, awesome team, gritty, gut coming through everywhere, pushing each other, and then happy about it. You know, really happy about that fight in all of us.
Was it watching? It was more gut-wrenching in 24.
Yeah.
As a fan.
Okay.
Compared to 16.
Because 16. Okay.
Because I felt. Because honestly, and when you guys were going into 21, I didn't have super high expectations.
Okay.
Because it felt a little bit jumbled and not consistent. So I don't know how.
Yeah, we were also dealing with some injuries, right?
Yeah.
We weren't sure if Taylor Sander was going to be back in time for 2020.
Yes.
He got postponed to 2021.
Yes.
He's back, but then Aaron Russell had to go out because of a hip
and then
injury.
Thomas was out for like 2 years.
Yeah,
he
shoulder
comes back.
and everything. His knee and then his shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, all this.
There was a lot of uncertainty in 21, which is not to give an excuse, but like it did feel a little bit different.
I won't accept your excuse anyway.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But when I see 16 and 24 felt more gut-wrenching because I genuinely thought you guys were the best team when I was watching. And I'm sure you guys had a feeling that you were right there.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe it felt a little bit different.
We were right
in 16 versus 24. Like how do you perceive that?
No, I mean, because in both matches we were ahead.
Wow, really?
In
Even
both
in 16?
Yeah, we were up 2-1 against Italy.
I completely forgot about that.
We lost the first set. We were up and then we lost. And then the third set we beat them 25-9.
You're right.
In the four set, we were up
you're right.
22-19, I think.
Yeah.
I went back to serve. I missed it. First side out, Micah set me. I spiked over Lanza out by a little bit.
Yeah.
And then a couple other plays, I forget what happened. There was an ace. It's controversial.
Yeah.
With a challenge
without the challenge system.
Well, it's controversial with a challenge system, even because that was back in the day of Hawkeye.
Okay.
Where they didn't show the actual video of where the ball went.
Yeah.
It was just an animation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they cheated. That's not what I'm saying. Because we had opportunities. Like I would never leave that up to chance. That's not how I like to play. It's not how I like to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were up there and we ended up losing, and then in Paris we were up against Poland and we had the chance up in the four set, and but that's volleyball, man. That's sport. That's Olympics. That's everything. It's like you just don't know. And if you can put a team away, you should put the team away. Like if you can take care of this one ball, it's not, oh, I'll get another chance.
Yeah.
Dude, there are no more chances. This is it.
It's interesting how you break that down, because I think recently, especially on social media, there's been a lot of discourse in regards to the challenge system in college for men's volleyball, with a controversial call against UCLA. Then we go into the VNL, where they are instituting new rules to seemingly bring volleyball back to more traditional style rather than the push carry. That is, honestly, a lot of players have predicated a big part of their game around that, which is kind of interesting to see how that's going to like revert back.
Yeah.
You've seen volleyball, I think, change in massive ways, because I feel like I've seen it change in 10 years. What have been stark differences that you've seen the evolution of volleyball take?
Yeah, well, first it's just speed, right?
Yeah.
So like when I came on, Brazil was running the BIC. When I first started playing volleyball, Brazil was running the BIC, which is the fast back pipe.
Yep.
Really well. And I mean, they had one of the best setters to ever play the game, Ricardinho,
Yep.
who was able to do that and be deceptive and run quicks and then run pins faster. And then, so 2008 was kind of the last year of like the really big opposites. 2012 also, like Clay was still playing, like those loopy balls from just a big, powerful guy.
Yeah.
Kind of started to go out.
Yeah.
Because everyone was running faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And then the progression got to running faster off the net. So, you know, passes at 3 meters, 10 feet line for Americans, like people would revert back to that older system of a higher ball out of system, right? But then you get setters that are more consistent, that are training to keep it in system the further they are off the net.
Yes.
Makes it harder on the other team, and makes it easier for you, but you need a really good setter.
Yeah.
And then it got to, okay, well, now teams are getting so good at reading that even farther off the net that, you know, we got to do different things. And that's when the tips and the pushes and all that, it was different.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, again, traditional volleyball.
And you think that came about because teams felt maybe bottlenecked, that they didn't have a way to expand their offensive game?
Probably, or players, like a player that's just not a big, powerful, dominant outside spiker. Yeah. Just, hey, I wonder if if I tip normally, I can usually get them because they're thinking high ball, I'm going to hit high hands and they'll stay deep. Okay, I'll just tip. Well, then people will just come up. Yeah. Like, okay, this guy can't hit over the block. He's not that big. He's not that powerful. I'll just come up because he's probably going to tip or he's going to recycle or what it may be. And then it got to, okay, now I have to tip because I can't go against this big block, but I have to do it better. I have to figure out a different way, and that's where pushes come in. And I don't know the progression of that because I don't play that way. Yeah. I've almost never played that way.
It's interesting that you haven't implemented it into your game.
I've still found success the way I play. Yeah. You know, it's the same as like a coach. Brian Thornton was one of the coaches in the Tokyo games. Yeah. And there's times leading up through that quad where he's coaching me, and I have a really good relationship with Brian. Yeah. And he'd be like, hey, you know, they're leaving you line, but you know what? Still scoring points. Do what you want to do. You know, like it's his way of being able to get through to me in an intense moment, right? Like it's in a match, it's a tense moment to say, hey, they're leaving your line.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to spike line.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you what to do because you're still scoring points this way.
Exactly.
You know, like so the way I'm playing, the way I have played, it's still working. But I'm also 39 now, and so maybe I'm not able to hit as high and as hard as I used to be able to, and that's something I have to learn. So I have to learn different ways of playing. I still think I can, but
absolutely. I mean, like I think it is apparent that physically you've somehow been able to maintain a very similar level and not really have any real noticeable drop off. I'm sure that you feel different when you play.
Right, because we're trying to be the best of the best and do everything perfect all the time. Right.
But it is like true that like you've been able to maintain this athleticism like in a really unique way, like not to cross reference, but like looking at someone like LeBron, where it's like he's been able to like maintain the athleticism piece of it for so long. And I'm sure that comes with recovery and how you've talked about like dedicating even like warming up 30 minutes before your warm up. Again, I don't think people conceptualize the level of detail that goes into that.
Yeah, that comes from being around the best at what we do. And, you know, you see guys that come in the gym and they have shoulder pain or they have knee pain, and they come to our trainer and talk to them, and he gives them exercises, and they do them for a couple days because the pain goes away, and then they stop, and then a week later the pain comes back, and then again, here's the exercises again, and those guys over time typically don't stick around.
Yeah.
Right. They have some catastrophic injury. I hope not. You know, but or they just, I'm tired of dealing with a player that's always hurt, or whatever it may be. You know, or they choose to stop because they have pain. When I have knee pain or I have shoulder pain, which I do, I have back pain. I am in almost year 20 of this. You know, like year 19 now. Like, I don't want that to be the reason why I stop.
Yeah. And
so the way I see to fix that is to get stronger.
So what is going to be the reason that you stop, Matt? I'm confused, bro. I don't get it. So like what? We're talking about gold medal. You tell me right now that it's a gold medal. I'm telling you right back that I don't believe you. So,
I am done after this next Olympics.
Okay. Why do you say that so confidently? Is that like a family thing?
I'm putting everything I can to this one, and then I'm done. There's no one singular reason. This life is really hard.
Yeah.
And I don't think life is going to get easier when I stop playing, but I'm saying the choice to do this is really hard. Yeah. And by saying this, I mean, it's 8 months overseas, it's a week to 2 weeks off, depending on our schedule, depending on how well my pro team does, to my kids are getting older and they're in school now, and we have to make that decision. Do they come overseas and go to school? Do they stay home and go to school? Okay, well, even when I'm out here in May, they're still in school there, so that's why they're not here right now. And so, like, it's just, I've signed on to go for LA, and then I'm done.
And done. Like pro national team done?
Yes. Yes. It's and dude, to be honest, like it could be even earlier. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm coming at it with that as the goal. And if there's something that comes up and it's not feasible anymore for me or for my family, and again, I'm not going to let what I do here take away from what I am and who I am. And that goes for me personally, and that goes for my family.
For sure. No, I mean, like, I'll tell the people, like, he can be humble. He looks unreal in training right now. So it will be Matt Anderson's decision when he shuts it down.
I hope so. And I also understand that usually athletes don't get to choose when they're done.
Absolutely.
There's something that stops them, whether that's you're not good enough anymore, or God forbid an injury, but like it's usually taken from you.
I mean, there is like a power in the fact that you get to choose. And again, knock on wood, like health has been incredible and level of play has maintained for very long periods of time. When you do end in LA, do you see yourself maintaining a place in volleyball as a coach, as a club owner, as someone in the back of USA Volleyball, Love? There's a lot of opportunities. Or do you think you're gonna like want to take a step back and just live as Matt Anderson, like the non-volleyball player?
I think it'll be hard to do that.
Yeah.
To just leave it, but I think that's also what I need to do.
Yeah.
Not because I'm ungrateful, but because it's been such a big part of my life that if I'm around it, it's hard to not want to still be in it.
Yeah.
I'll still pay attention. You know, some of the guys that are on this team are some of my greatest friends, and I want to be able to support them and not feel envy or jealousy towards them still playing. I want to be genuine in that.
Yeah.
But part of this life, it puts a lot of strain on the people I care the most about.
For sure.
And part of that strain is their schedule is dictated by my schedule, which is dictated by a coach.
Yeah.
And so they are, you know, they have to deal with the consequences of my decisions without really much of the input in that decision. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's not, I mean, I'm never going to be able to make up the time. I'm never going to be able to make up missed time in the past,
Absolutely.
right? But I can still be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I plan to do. So it's be there for my wife, be there for my kids, be present, and, you know, let them kind of dictate where we go. Let them, you know, be at the helm of the ship, and I follow them. You know?
Yeah, and like I mean, in a weird way, as athletes, we don't have control of a lot. Like it is dictated by a coach or a president or whatever.
I mean, just look at the way leagues are played.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Japan is back-to-back days, you know, and
Unbelievable.
If you're playing Champions League, you're playing Monday and Wednesday and then back home for a Saturday match, but you're back on the road. And look at MLB baseball.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Like
162 games in a season.
I don't even know how to conceptualize that.
Yeah. And then I also heard, like, with their spring stuff, they're like playing like 200 games a year before they're even in the playoffs. Like, what, bro? What? That's crazy.
Obviously, it sounds like, again, taking time away and like spending time with your family, kids, wife, immediate, extended.
Yeah.
Where do you think you're going to land? Because you'll probably end up back in the volleyball space on some level, as we're talking about. Do you think it would be as a coach? Or do you think it would be more as someone in the second layer background?
Yeah, I think I would love to be able to share what I know and what I did learn through my career.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to share that with young to adults to professionals to Olympians. I'd love to be able to share that. I don't know how that will come to fruition.
Yeah.
But I foresee the gym being open to me.
Yeah.
And me coming in and talking
or
or just being around for a week. Or, hey, the guys are training for world champs. Want to come out for a couple of weeks and just watch and give feedback and ask questions. And so for sure I could do that. I mean, I think it'd be great if I could figure out a way to run some camps and just give that joy of the game that I've felt for so long.
Yeah.
Try and pass that, you know, to the youth or, you know, guys that are questioning, should I keep going or not? Because I've also been in this gym with guys that have had really hard careers and then they make it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, I started in B2 in Italy, and then I made it to A1, and then I made it to here, and now I'm on the national team. And okay, maybe they don't make Olympics, but hey, you made it.
Yeah.
That's making it in a lot of ways. So, like, being around those people, it's awesome. It's invigorating. It's like gives you a passion to keep doing whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, I think as an athlete, when you're playing, it's really hard to look outside of yourself because everything you do is centered around you in a weird way. Mm-hmm. So it's like your whole life is centered around like how do you optimize yourself?
Yeah, for sure. And you can take advantage of that. Like, you can really take advantage of that concept in your relationships with other people, how you handle other people, how you handle obligations and responsibilities off the court.
Yeah.
And you can also use it as a really great tool, But I did have a thought, but I lost it. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think it's interesting because even watching from afar the training where so the national team, they were catapults that kind of like measure your guys' like athletic output, and then the trainers will come in and pull people when they've reached a limit. So Matt had reached a limit, and he stayed on the court hitting down balls with me for an hour and giving information to all the young college players that aren't even on the roster. And I feel like
I didn't know that, but I didn't know they weren't on the roster. I thought they were on the roster. But
so there was a few that weren't, and
if they weren't, I wouldn't have given it to them.
So it's like it does seem like this is like kind of you're having this desire to like give back, and like the way you talk about like doing camps and still being involved in the USA gym, kind of shifting your mental from being how do I maximize Matt Anderson versus how do I now give all this like mountains of information that I've like accumulated over my career. It's really cool to see that progression.
You ever hear there's a bunch of like viral clips that go around, but it's like being service to others.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's kind of weird because it's like, it's how I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So it's almost like
in a weird
way, like an egocentric kind of thing, but like feeling needed is what drives me a lot. And so also passing on to the kids that are, and I call them kids because they are kids, they're in their 20s, like young, like 20 years old. They're giving them an experience that I had. Like, yes, I came in the gym when it was really confrontational. Yeah. But I don't know what it was about me, but I always felt like, guys are giving me tips, like actual, like, I never really got the brunt force of like blow-ups. Yeah. Of these athletes, but I was given direction. I was, hey, you're late on this, or hey, have you ever tried this? Yeah. And so like, I try not to be preachy because I feel one of the worst teammates is a player coach. Yeah. But helpful little things. Yeah. And more of like, hey, do you feel this? Yeah. Because if you do, we can work with it. If you don't feel it, okay, well, let's watch film and maybe be a little bit more aware of it. But I'm not going to watch film with you. But coach will.
Even the way that you kind of initially talked about sprawl, introducing, shifting you to the other pin, to the right side, the way that you're talking about these conversations and how maybe having a player coach isn't great and doesn't feel good, but giving tidbits of information and kind of having, and this has been the biggest eye-opening thing for me in the USA gym, is the collaborative conversation around volleyball rather than like, do what I say and then go take it. Yeah. I think is really powerful, and it's shifted the way that I even communicate with my high school boys because it empowers you in a way.
Yeah, it's also a respect thing. Like I talked about that. Like I want coach to respect what I've done. Yeah. And part of that is when we're in something and we're doing something a certain way that's different from how I've ever done it. Yeah. I'm not questioning his reasoning. I just want to know it. I want to understand why we're doing it.
100%.
Like if it's because it's a system thing, we think it's better because we're going to make more points this way, or it's more comfortable for the guys to do this, whatever the reasoning is, or he just wants to do it this way. Okay, cool. I can accept that, but I just need to know why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm not just going to blindly do something that's, for me, hasn't worked in the past, or requires me to do something completely different.
Yeah.
Just because you say that. And that's a really cool part of this team's culture, which I've also been part of teams that, no.
Yeah.
You don't question, you just do it.
I think it's really cool, and that's probably the biggest evolution I think I've seen in sports is this different style of communication with topics.
Also, sorry to touch on it one more time.
Yes.
The respect goes both ways, because there is times when a coach has to like put their foot down, like, hey, we're doing it this way, or hey, don't do that, or whatever it may be. Like, there has to be a respect from the players to the coach too, that you're not always going to get your way, and that's okay.
And everyone, like, correct me if I'm wrong, when we're going into these high performing teams, everyone has their own role, and it like gets more and more defined. So like the best player on the team, the top point scorer, is going to have a different role than the serving specialist.
Yeah.
And not in a negative way, but like it
is what it is.
Right? The head coach is going to have a different voice than the assistant coach, than the video person.
Yeah.
Everyone has value, but they get defined in these like smaller segments as it develops.
For sure. And a head coach has a really huge responsibility, a huge weight of responsibility to make decisions. Like, an assistant coaching staff can be there fighting for a player to be on a roster.
Yeah.
And the player doesn't get there because ultimately it's the head coach's decision.
Yeah.
I would assume that's how the system works. But I mean, I'm not in those meetings, right? I'm not choosing who's on the teams. But in the outsiders looking in, like, it's always going to be the head coach's responsibility. You don't go to a championship and lose and lose and lose and lose, and they fire the assistant coaches. It doesn't work that way, because it shouldn't. That's not how it works. That's not, the responsibility is the head coach.
That is, I asked Karch that exact question, and the conversation is that we don't make the decision, in the sense of we take a lot of different minds to make a decision, but I will always carry the weight of the decision.
For sure.
And maybe they're not the one that...
They also get a lot of the glory too if they win. And you can even argue against that too, because it's the players that are doing it. But I guess it's hard because we keep just saying it is what it is, but that's the way it is.
No, it is cool to think about like these different evolutions, and I want to get because I didn't directly ask, but with the new rules of going back to traditional style and taking the push and throw away, do you think that's going to be something that is going to stay? Do you like that, or do you want to see volleyball evolve in a different way?
I don't think I get to choose the way volleyball evolves.
Yeah.
Because it's not just me.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say I probably have very little, if not nothing, to do with the way volleyball changes. Because I'm at the end of my career. I'm not going to just do something now that automatic, like, whoa, I revolutionized the game, It's going to be kids that are 15, 16 that are just trying stuff out in their backyard, And that's the way it should be. That's the most natural way of evolving something, is it starts younger and comes through. And I think that push, tips, and stuff like that started from young outsides. It started with guys like Irvin.
Yes.
But Irvin also has a lot of traditional volleyball in him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then so like it gets adapted by some of these young Polish outsides, Kwolik and Szalpuk and these other, I forget the lefty outside. Śliwka. Like these guys in Fornal now and Clevenot in France. Like these guys they're elite in what they do and their technical skills, but they also implemented something else that like sets them apart.
Yeah.
Sets Clevenot apart from, a big outside like me is, hey, we both pass the ball really well. I can terminate high balls. He can, but he also has this other tool.
Yeah.
That like maybe you need that.
Yeah.
Or a difference from a Leon or somebody, from the traditional sense of the game.
Yeah.
But Am I happy to see it go? Selfishly, yeah, because I don't care about it, I don't.
You don't use it.
Yeah. And it's a really hard thing to stop.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it has success and why it's got through is because it works. Do I also think at times it's illegal? Yeah, I also think every setter dump is illegal because technically it is. They're holding onto the ball and they're pushing it. That's illegal.
Yeah.
By the book, traditional sense.
Yes.
But it's just the same in basketball, where they're carrying the ball.
Yeah.
When I started playing volleyball, mind you, it was a long time ago, you had to dribble like this. You couldn't, if you did this, it was a carry, other person's ball, turnover. It's just little things, but the game evolves. The game evolves and it has to.
Yeah.
Because it's younger kids doing it and they bring it to the forefront.
So for you don't even entertain what it could look like because the creativity piece is going to come from the younger generation.
Yeah, I think for sure, right? It's controlled again by the coaching staffs of these teams and these young kids and these clubs and the regulations by the organizations that set it up. But we as humans always trying to find a solution.
Yeah.
So if I can't, in the confines of the rules, right? But if there's a way for me to manipulate and move and it's not getting called.
Find the gray area.
Yeah, why not? If I have an argument, okay, and you're a ref and you want to call it, give me the reason why.
Yeah.
Okay? But I think what's going to be hard and what's going to be the pushback is it puts is ambiguity in the rules, right?
Yeah.
And so it puts a little bit more weight or trust or responsibility, influence on the game from the referees. And that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. I think refs are obviously really important to our game.
Yes.
But they shouldn't be able to dictate the outcome of a game.
Absolutely.
And that's hard. So I don't know how they're going to implement these changes. Yeah. But the thing is they let it go for so long that it's kind of part of the game now. Yeah. But if you want to get back to it, there's going to be some bumps in the road.
Yeah.
No, a lot of hands up, a lot of complaining.
Yeah.
Because again, they're dictating the game.
No, it is. It's frustrating, especially from a player perspective, when a ref has as much control as they do to make or break a point that could essentially affect you winning even a Olympic medal. Yeah. So my last question. Mm-hmm. With my club, Mentor Volleyball Academy, obviously the word mentor means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And I want to ask you what mentors have meant a lot to you, why, and now that you're turning a page in your career, what does it mean for you to be a mentor to these young athletes around you and as you kind of branch into that piece of your life?
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah. I think an easy one is John Sproul. What he's done for me, he's become a really good friend. Yeah. On top of being a great coach to me. He's given me a lot of space to grow. He's given me a lot of space to kind of explore what it means to be an elite volleyball player, what it means to be a great dad, what it means to be a good human. And he's done that both in modeling, but also questioning and directives and, read this book, read this article. Yeah. Let's talk about it. I think something that has set John apart is his ability to communicate and connect. Yeah. Players-wise, when I first got to the team, Sean Rooney we joke, he calls me Pup because, I was a player that was modeled physically after him. Yeah, absolutely. He came through Pepperdine. I remember watching him play when they won. Yep. I was watching it on ESPN on my TV at home before I went to Penn State. And then I came to the national team. I'm like, holy crap, I'm playing with Sean Rooney. You know, this is wild. And so him being able to call him a friend now is like, cool.
Yeah.
I made it, you know. I don't need to go to 5 Olympics, you know. I made it.
Even though we will, but
I will try. And there's just, it's crazy because, you know, Micah Christensen is a player that's younger than me, but has different experiences than me, and I've learned a lot from him. Yeah. And that's, again, communication, talking through things and connecting, and just understanding where he comes from and why he does what he does, and why I do what I do, and how can we merge these to work for each other. Yeah. You know. How I want to use this for the youth, that's hard because, again, it's them, it's responsibilities on them too. Yeah. You know? I want to be able to teach and share these experiences, and again, my perception of them, my perspective of it all, that how I think I can do that best is by getting them to be open to talking. Like, I'm so happy that podcasting is a thing and long form interviews is a thing, because little quick questions don't get the story. They don't get what you mean, who you are, and they give good sound bites, but whatever, go make an ad on TV or something. Exactly. Like there's a space for that. Yes. But if you want to actually get to know a process or a thought or a meaning, you gotta talk. You gotta be able to talk through things. I'd go a little bit further, because you don't have to be a friend with everyone. It's a respect. It's a respect of intention. It's a respect of body of work. It's a respect of knowledge, of experience. So John and I weren't friends when we started. Yeah. We were friendly, but it was a respect. Yeah. I respected him in his position. He respected me in my abilities as a player. Yeah. That built into this trust that blossomed into a friendship on top of a coach and player relationship. Because in the Olympics, I'm not saying, hey, it's John, my friend. You know? But he doesn't want that. I don't want that. Yeah. But we're able to, when we show up here, when it's on, it's on. Coach, player, done. We're done. We're friends. And we can talk. Yeah, we can talk through things. Like, maybe the wording "friend" is incorrect. More developing a relationship. Yeah. With the other person is the priority, rather than a lot of times people want to reach out the mentor before the relationship is built. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Where you have to go build a relationship to then get to have a mentor that is affecting your life. You can't get John Sprague to be your mentor if you're not killing yourself every single day in practice and being with him. I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? In my experience, yes. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you have to be in the trenches with the person in order to get that out. Yeah, man, it's super inspiring for me to hear, like I told you, the vulnerability, the way that you perceive your career so humbly. Someone that's watched you play my whole life. As long as I can remember volleyball, Matt Anderson has been in the USA picture. So super cool moment that I had a chance to talk to you about all this stuff. I hope and I actually know that this conversation is going to help so many people that are looking for ways to improve their life, because it's more than just being a volleyball player. So yeah, just personally, thank you so much. I personally enjoyed this conversation a lot. And I hope that you at home enjoyed it as much as I did, and were able to get one piece of advice from Matt Anderson. But this is the conclusion of our episode. Matt, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I really appreciate it. Like I said, hope you guys tune in again next episode. This is Gert Lisha with the Volleyball Mentor. This is Mentor in the Making. I'll talk to you guys soon.